Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm going to be doing my speech, my persuasive speech on childhood obesity. So, in the past 30 years, according to Childhood Obesity and the Obesity Society, childhood obesity has more than doubled in children and actually more than tripled in adolescents just over the last 30 years in this country. And so, because childhood obesity is such a big epidemic, we want to definitely think about, what are the main factors, what are the main causes of childhood obesity? And, really we want to think about one, when children are in school, what exactly are the food options? What are they around? And if you think about it, in a lot of schools, if you look at, even just the vending machines, they're not filled with healthy options. They're usually filled with candy, sugar, soda. So that type of snack will, become a norm for kids growing up through middle school and high school. Then, if you start looking at the cafeteria, usually the cheaper options is, fried chicken, things of that nature, cheeseburgers, hamburgers. Usually salads and subs are usually more expensive. So not only do you have vending machines that are filled with sugary sweets and sodas, but in the cafeteria, what's affordable is usually not the healthiest foods for, teenagers, kids to be eating. And then, the kids are very impressionable. They learn all they can from school, and a lot of schools don't do recess anymore. So instead of being outside and active and getting exercise like a lot of kids did 20, 30 years ago, kids aren't having that as much anymore, which is definitely leading into obesity because, kids need to learn that you need to go outside and be active, whereas a lot of kids these days are, sitting at home on the computer, on the TV, on their tablets, stuff of that nature. So you definitely have to teach kids what to eat, what's healthy, what's not, you know, to be outside, to be playing, to be active. Um, and so those are just some of, the things that I think are really causing childhood obesity rates to be so high in this country. Now, according to the impact of childhood obesity goes beyond health, from NPR, there's a lot of different physical and psychological effects that happens, when kids are overweight growing up. You can go through a lot of depressive symptoms, like depression. You can have things such as, poor body image, not feeling pretty or beautiful or fitting in just because of how you look. A lot of the kids have low self-concept, and it definitely is going to put kids at a big risk for, eating disorders when they're older. The media shows you how to be skinny, how to be beautiful and pretty, and if, all growing through elementary, middle school, and, even up to high school, you're surrounded by sweets and not being taught to be active, you know, you can try and get the quickest fix to become skinny, and that's where a lot of people, especially as they become teenagers, develop eating disorders such as bulimia, trying to throw everything up, or, anorexia, just not eating at all. And that can even lead into behaving and learning problems in kids. Then you also have negative health consequences. There's a bunch, big one is running the risk of getting type 2 diabetes, and that, is not from being born. That is literally from your diet, what you eat. And diabetes is definitely running high, definitely higher in the US, according to NPR. Over the past 10, 15 years, type 2 diabetes has literally doubled in the United States. Then you've got insulin resistance, which is a problem that can lead into diabetes. And then, of course, something, if you're not getting a lot of activity, getting a lot of exercise, is also kids that can develop asthma, really just a bunch of problems psychologically and physically, all stemming from us not getting healthier foods, into schools, not teaching kids healthier options. And all of this can be prevented literally by getting that knowledge into schools. You know, the percentage of children between 6 and 11 years in the United States who are obese increased from 7% in 1980 to nearly 18% in 2010, according to Obesity in Children by WebMD. That's a huge difference. It almost doubled. And then, similarly, the percentage of adolescents ages 12 years old to 19 years old who were obese increased from only 5% in 1980 to over 18% now. And really the biggest factor is that we just have to we have to get healthier options into schools, take the unhealthy options out so that's not the norm, what they're used to, and definitely teach kids to be active. And these numbers will definitely go down in future years.